Hey guys, Omni here. So we are going to dive into today the reunion for one of my favorite casts of all time, Friends. And I can't wait to see how this comes together. Just from the trailer alone, which in and of itself got me emotional, I expect this to do way more than that, man. Like I love this show. I know right now, these days, I don't know if it's the datedness of it or what it is, or this seems like the fun thing to do is kind of like crap on Friends, but sorry, you never bring down my love of it. I watch it at least once a year, like beginning to end. It's my go-to feel good show. It's definitely, I think I ranked it my number 2 television show of all time. So I love it. I don't care. I will never stop loving this show, and I can't wait to see the group come back together. I am a little sad that it's not going to be an episode or anything like that, but I did see like a small little interview with the group as to why they're not going to do it, like do an episode. And it makes sense. You know, they all kind of had their happy endings, and if they did do another episode, in some ways they might have to unravel that just to make things, to make a story. And I'd rather just have them have that happy ending, and whatever happens in our collective headcanons stay that happy ending, or whatever individual version of that story you have in your head. So, and at this point, it's probably it's been so long, it's probably for the best that it isn't a new episode or anything like that. Though I would like to know like the canon way that, you know, everything turned out, like maybe get to see who their kids grew up to be, that sort of thing. But I'm fine. But we're gonna go ahead and dive into this. This is going to more than likely, I don't know, because I underestimated how long this thing was going to be. I thought this was just supposed to be an hour-long special. But this says it's an hour and 44 minutes. So I don't know if this is going to end up on the channel. It will definitely end up on Patreon. So we'll see. Full episode watch along will be on Patreon, or if you become a YouTube member, both will get you access to this. So that being said, let's go ahead and get this thing started, man. Friends ran for 10 seasons from 1994. Damn, man. So long ago.
Okay, should we get some coffee?
Where?
Where?
17 years later. Jesus.
Wow. Wow. Where is everyone? Come on, I want to see everyone.
Oh.
Wasn't there a decision to lose this?
I thought this was gone.
Yeah.
This was here in the beginning, and
It kept like...
it got in the way.
It
Yeah.
got in the way, yeah.
Sorry, sometimes it's a choice.
There we go. I hear someone.
She's starting to cry.
Oh, hi. Oh, holy crap. All right, well, where's the tissue box?
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Hey! What are you guys doing here?
Remember when we all used to fit through that door?
Does Courtney still have her lines written on the
Do you
table?
know what the difference is? You know it's nuts? Oh, really?
I never knew she did that, and I saw it, and I was like, what is it? She goes, well, don't mind your business, she said. So before we shot that night, I erased it all. And she got so mad at me. And Nora had the script in the sink.
Yeah, that I do remember. There was always a script in the sink.
So much of my dialogue within these apples.
I didn't know.
Oh, sometimes, yeah.
Oh, God.
Could you be any later?
Hey!
Hey, brother. Hey, got Stu.
And was it always purple, that wall?
Yeah, I got it.
Crazy.
That was actually a line, though, from the last episode.
Did you take anything
Comment
from
about the
set
purple
besides-
walls.
I took
You know, anytime you text or call someone, they're going to pick up. They'll be there.
Maggie, who doesn't pick up?
I don't
don't hear from anyone.
I hope that's a joke.
You made 236 episodes of the show. It aired in over 220 territories, averaging 25 million viewers a week. 52 million people watched the finale. The show has been watched over 100 billion times across all platforms. The creators of the show are here tonight, sat in the audience. Marta Kaufman, David Crane, Kevin Bright are just sat there.
Do you remember the episode where we never got out of the chairs?
Pizza's on the way. I told you we wouldn't have to get up.
Oh, Maddie, it's good to see you.
This is great.
Schwimmer, the episode where you guys were throwing a ball and the whole time you couldn't drop the ball.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh.
Yes, the boys.
What kind of ball?
Because Monica got involved and she took it too seriously and it took the fun out of it for everybody else.
Everybody ended up getting in on it. Schwimmer was in on it.
No memory.
You want to get something to eat? Or do you
Yeah.
want to can throw this with laptops?
No, I remember that.
It's so heavy.
Yeah.
Let's go look at the dressing room. And
It all seems small to me, the whole stage.
You know, that's impossible, though, because we haven't grown.
Speak for
Shut
yourself.
up.
Let's talk about favorite episode.
When we lost the apartment, the quiz, the
Yes.
and really devastating.
Yeah.
It's one of the highest rated episodes too.
Chandler Bing's job.
Oh, he's a transmonster! That's not even a word!
The coin toss to see who goes first. Okay, somebody call it this time. Okay, here we go. Rachel wrote Ross a letter and demanded he read it before they got back together. How many pages was that letter? 18 pages!
Damn.
18 pages.
Front and back!
Front and back is correct.
Oh, David's getting the deliveries right, nailing it, man.
Can you name this voice?
That's my monkey.
We know it, we know it.
It's the guy who lives downstairs.
And his name would be?
Mr. Wickles.
I know it.
It's your turn.
No, will the mystery voice please reveal himself?
Isn't it Mr. Hinkle? Gosh, man. He's been on Breaking Bad and all that too. I still love this guy.
According to Monica, how many erogenous zones are there on the female?
7.
Courtney, is that correct?
That's correct.
That they could hold a television show by themselves.
Jill?
Is Rachel here? I'm her sister. When my agent called me and said,
Yes.
Do you want to play
Okay.
Rachel
God.
Green's sister? Have I won the lottery? Each one of them is a leading character, but together.
Because Christina Applegate was the
great
other sister.
repartee.
Monica
Bigger, louder.
got stung by a jellyfish.
All right.
And I was tired from digging the huge hole.
And then Joey remembered something.
Ew.
You peed on yourself?
I couldn't. I just couldn't bend that way. So
That's right, I stepped up. If I had to, I'd pee on any one of you.
Only, I couldn't. I turned to Chandler.
Joey kept screaming at me, do it now.
I was laughing.
Hearing all of you for the first time, that blew me away.
That's what I remember.
I just thought everyone was so perfectly cast.
Yeah.
That's what I remember.
Yeah.
Casting the show was really hard, and we had to beg him and beseech him, and we wrote this for you.
I believe we sent him gift baskets.
I have no recollection of the gift basket. Meanwhile, my husband Jeffrey was writing and producing on Mad About You. Phoebe's right here playing Ursula, the waitress.
There you go.
On Mad About You, she had more of an edge. Phoebe was a much more positive image.
That LeBlanc, if I remember correctly, had like $11 in his pocket when he auditioned.
We saw a lot of guys who you believed were actors, guys who liked women, but they weren't funny.
The other actor ended up in the show, in the one with the Unagi, playing fake Joey.
How are you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? How you doing? Damn it, Carl. Go wait in the hall.
My nose is running from all the stuff going on.
You know, just a group of friends. I was like, yeah, kind of. He goes, then we should go out drinking. To make a long story short, I woke up in the middle of the night at his apartment and had to go to the bathroom, and I got up too fast, and I can't believe I'm telling this, but I kind of blacked out, fell face first into the toilet, and I hit my nose on the bottom of the toilet seat. So I have to go in for the big callback, and it's like a big, ugly scab on my nose. And Marta Kaufman said, what happened to your face? And I told the truth and got the job. So
Kidney, tell me something. How often do we have steak on the menu?
She'd hardly ever.
That's right. So what you have there is a rare steak.
I'm sorry, that was actually kind of that was a good joke, I think.
We took this big risk to cast her, share her with this other show, and we'll see who wins.
He goes, I saw that show. I'm gonna tell you something. That show's not gonna make you a star. And enough said.
Well, he's here tonight. That producer.
Wait, really or no? Okay, maybe I think that was a joke. That would have been fucking funny.
While in Las Vegas, Joey finds his identical hand twin.
Wouldn't you pay good?
Ah, fuck, what's his name?
If you leave now,
God, why can't I ever remember his name? Reno 911. I never remember his name.
Please identify Joey's hand twin.
Middle. That one. 2.
right there, number 2.
Yes. Yes, that, God, I always forget his name. God damn it, Thomas Lennon.
Can you identify the voice?
I used to have that phone.
I'm finally retiring from ophthalmology and would love for all of you to come to my retirement party next week.
Tom.
Let me know.
Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck. No, oh my God! I didn't say that. Wait. You looked so disappointed.
It's okay. Will the mystery voice please make himself known?
How can it not be?
Richard. Dude, if there was like, if we could rewind time or give him some youth back, he would make the perfect Omni-Man. That mustache is famous.
Monica famously chose Chandler over Richard. What did Chandler do for a living?
Drives a trench monster. No, that's how we lost the apartment.
Nobody knows, really.
That's the answer?
Yeah, that is the answer.
I mean, he says it like eventually. It's like data reconfiguration and statistical analysis.
The girls are the winners.
I think something like that.
They were on every magazine, and I was like,
I remember that
holy
one.
Shit. This is crazy.
God, I was 6 when the show came out.
They're on the cover of Rolling Stone. Rolling Stone. I mean, we're a TV show.
Why is it such a phenomenon?
The Rachel.
It suits her very well. It's spectacular.
Oh my God. So strange to my ears.
My mom bought me the DVDs of the
Oh.
series when I was in elementary school. Friends really had a big hand in teaching me English, life, and true friendship.
Could I be wearing any more clothes?
Pivot!
Smelly cats! Smelly cats! What are they feeding you? Well, were too shy to talk to girls, so Friends was a way to boost our morale and boost our confidence.
Favorite episode on Friends is the episode in which Monica asked Chandler to marry him. That is the way I wanted to ask my soulmate and my husband to marry me, and that's exactly what I did.
So watching that episode got me thinking that I can also take charge of my own relationship.
The next day, he got diagnosed with a terminal disease called MND. Well, what began next was a battle for me, a battle of seeing the only person I've loved getting closer to death every day. I even had suicidal thoughts.
I was a gay man who wanted to have hair like Jennifer Aniston, so you can imagine how lonely I sometimes felt.
They were my friends, since I didn't really have any. And I can't.
I thought I had friends around me.
No matter how much pain, anxiety, or trouble you are in, if you are staring at a screen which is playing Friends, you're gonna laugh.
I found my Monica.
They have saved more lives. Even if they don't know them, I am one.
And for those who don't like the show, just...
Yes.
I think you're like Joey, 100%, because you just walk into my room with these jokes that don't make sense.
They
but
are
you
funny.
are howling, like you have tears
They're
coming out of
always
your
funny.
eyes.
So Friends was obviously amazing for all of you, but was there anything that you didn't like?
Way to keep it positive.
The monkey.
And the monkey.
Oh, the monkey.
Really?
The monkey scared me. I loved the monkey.
David was not a fan.
Yeah, because you didn't have to touch it.
What?
Yes, she did.
Yes, she did. She had to babysit Marcel for an episode. Well, an episode. He had to deal with it a lot, though.
I am an animal lover. However, all have choreographed like bits kind of timed out. It would get messed up because the monkey didn't do its job right. So we'd have to reset. We'd have to go again because the monkey didn't get it right.
David's so angry.
So this kept happening over and over where we're about to do something really funny, but the monkey didn't hit its mark.
I would like you to be more serious about that.
That combined with when the monkey was resting and the trainer would come up and just open and give the monkey live grubs. Break him in half, these squirming live grubs, they'd eat it, and then he'd just go like that. It just wasn't, it was time for Marcel to.
Oh my God.
Question. You really threw up some good answers there. All right, okay. Do you have a question?
Yes, I do.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr.
Oh.
and Mrs. Geller.
I'm honestly surprised they're both alive. Still.
Elliot,
Mm.
Christina, I'm keen to know, what do you remember about that time?
I remember they were awfully nice to us.
Very down to earth, real people.
We loved it because they loved us, and
You
one
can just
day
hear it.
We came to work,
And it just
they
time
said,
travels, man, their voice.
"The parents are here," and it was so moving, and we really did.
I
feel
loved
like
both
their
of them,
parents. In
man.
fact, we used to worry about them quite a lot. And Elliot said to me, "We're behaving like we're really their parents."
I just put it on and it makes you smile to almost the point of crying.
Could I be wearing any more clothes?
Look at me. I'm Chandler. Could I be wearing any more clothes? Maybe if I wasn't going commando.
The one where nobody's ready.
What were you doing when your arm came out of the socket or the shoulder?
Oh, here it is.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, what? I don't want to skate. I don't want to see pain.
It doesn't look like anything.
Ow, ow, ow. It happened right
Ooh,
there.
how?
Yeah.
Oh, ooh.
And the way, do you remember how it was, the sling was written into the show?
No.
Oh.
Forgot about that. He was jumping on the bed.
Yeah, don't get too excited. I haven't done this in a long time. So.
I mean, it's not too long since she did it with Taylor Swift,
Okay.
right? Hasn't been too long. Well, still a couple of years.
Hi.
Hey.
You mind if I
take a smelly cat for a spin?
Yeah, that would be great.
All right. It's not your fault.
Not bad.
Happened.
I still think it's better when it's just me.
It is.
Oh, you heard it.
Thank you so much for being the person for all of us on Friends that was I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but the different one, or the one that was really herself.
Thanks for carrying it along. Yes, our time.
Yeah.
I don't know if Lisa was in on that joke or not.
I hadn't seen it really in 17 years until my daughter just started watching
Aww.
it.
I don't believe the acting that I'm doing because I know it's not true because it was me doing it.
That's what you do for a living.
No, I know, but and it happened to be the one with the leather pants, and I said to my daughter, I said, okay, watch this. Every little thing, like pulling the pants up and like slipping and smacking yourself in the head.
I can't quite.
Oh wait, I knew he was on the guest list, but Jesus. Kid Harington Geller.
I think one of the reasons Friends is so funny is the fact that these 6 actors are masters of physical comedy. There's a scene with David Schwimmer, and David Schwimmer
I
starts.
can't tell you how many times while moving, me and my friends have yelled pivot at each other, especially with couches.
He ran in.
Yeah.
He looked at his mark.
No, I tripped on that. Like this. I went like this a second time. I came running. Phoebes, check it out, check it out, check it out, check it out. Phoebes, check it out. The final time that you came in.
Because I was like, somebody's getting a laugh. I can't handle it. I need to get a laugh too.
Because he actually gets it right.
Oh, soap opera digest.
And then he comes and ruins it.
I should say there was somebody very, very special involved in the show who couldn't be here tonight. He's joining us on Zoom right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome James
Damn it.
Michael Tyler. It's here. It's Gaga.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Oh, I'm just making a list of people's birthdays.
Oh, mine's December.
Yeah, whatever.
Will you allow me to ask what I would consider to be a cheeky question? Either you're all good-looking, successful actors, and it's inconceivable to me that there weren't off-screen romances.
Well, I mean, David?
I had a major crush on Jen, but it was like 2 ships passing because one of us was always in a relationship. So, and we never crossed that boundary.
Bullshit.
Remember saying one time to David, it's going to be such a bummer if the first time you and I actually kiss is going to be on national television.
Hang on.
But so we just channeled all of our adoration and love for each other into Ross and Rachel.
Is this blowing anyone else's mind?
I never knew this. Did anybody?
You know, and it's not like I didn't try, Rachel, but things got in the way, you know, like
Italian guys.
or ex-fiancés or
Italian guys.
Hey, there was one Italian guy, okay? And do you even have a point?
Yeah, how did not everyone know we're crushing on each other?
We knew.
Yeah, we knew for sure.
Great. Now, thanks.
We take a look at some of those iconic costumes with our very own Friends reunion fashion show, Cara Delevingne.
Yeah, she was in the trailer in the dress.
Cara
Ew. Oh no.
It's Cindy Crawford.
Oh wow.
Justin Beiber.
What?
Santa's half Jewish friend. It's
Holiday Armadillo. Cara Delevingne again as the holiday. Oh my god. That's so funny.
Is a high point in her modeling career. Wearing all of Chandler's clothes, it's Matt LeBlanc.
What? Wait. Was he not on the... When did that happen? The distractions. The sleight of hand with this camera, man. How dare you? That was brilliant.
The show is about that time in your life when your friends or your family. Once you have family of your own, it's no longer that time. So the show came, I think, to a natural end.
It was really important for us to end everyone in a good place. Phoebe was going to be happy and had a life. I want one.
Aw.
Oh, yeah? Well, tell
All
me
right,
which one.
guys.
I'll slip it in my coat.
The plane? Did you get off the plane?
I got off the plane.
Adios, arrivederci, au revoir. Take one, 5 cameras. Come.
Oh, the crew, man.
Okay, should we get some coffee?
Sure. Where?
If I remember correctly, that where wasn't in the script.
Has it crossed your mind about, well, maybe we could do another episode?
No, because that's all up to Marta and David. And I once heard them say, and I completely agree, that they ended the show. Everyone's lives are very nice, and they would have to unravel all those.
This was the part I heard already.
In order for there to be stories, and yeah, I don't want anyone's happy ending unraveled.
I remember I was reading about this discussion earlier today.
Where do you think your characters would be today?
I think we ended up getting married and we had some kids and you still, played with bones.
Still playing with bones.
And
That's paleontology.
And it gets Joey every time.
Playing with the bone.
Monica is still really competitive. Her kids are probably not even in, they're probably graduated, but she still is in charge of the bake sale, and you are making me laugh every day.
Just wanted to make sure I factored in there somewhere.
And what's Phoebe doing?
Phoebe's married to Mike. They're probably in Connecticut. They had kids, and I think she was like the advocate for her kids who were a little different,
Aww.
The arts program and the music thing and all that, yeah.
And where's Joe?
I like all these.
I think you probably open a sandwich shop in Venice Beach.
I'll accept all these answers.
Yeah, I'm gonna cry now. COVID tested.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cast of Friends.
Damn, man. Oh, they were all executive producers on this. That was such an emotional ride, man. It really was, especially for me. Like, I grew up with the show. My parents watched the show, and, like, that's kind of how I got into it. And over the years, it became, like, this second family. Kind of like what you had a lot of these people that you interviewed about, feeling like. And it just reminded me of my group of friends and how we were. And most of us even watched the show too. It was a period in time that I just look back on, and I just go back to the show all the time, just relive it. And there's things that about the show that like I appreciate more and more every time I watch it. Because over the years, as I've gotten older, I've watched the show, up until it's closed. I watched the last episode when it aired, and still that episode, like even on my rewatches, I tend to get to that episode and then restart back to the beginning, because watching that last episode always makes me get emotional because again, like it just makes you relive that feeling again. And I don't like goodbyes, but like it does remind me of those types of things. And that was one of the first times that I had to like say goodbye to like a fictional relationship kind of in a way, because that's kind of what it felt like up until that point. You know, you were saying goodbye to these people you've come to know all these years, and I know it's fake, but like it's like an emotional support system that I kind of had for a long time. And when you say goodbye to that, it was rough. I think the only other time early on in my life that was rough was like when Dragon Ball Z actually ended for the first time, and then you had like the whole ending with Goku and whatnot, like the tease for you know, the tournament when he flashes forward, you know, Oob shows up and all that stuff. Man, that's like another one that like hits me pretty hard too. That was like one of the first times. I can't remember which one actually came first, but those are two things that was just really rough and hard for me, like growing up. It was like my first bout with like saying goodbye to anybody, because like up until that point I didn't really have any family deaths, or most of my friends were still around, so just kind of prepared me a little bit too in a way for the real thing, though not a like one-to-one comparison at all, but it's just like when you spend so much time with something, even if it's fictional, like it becomes a part of you. And I still go back and watch it. And like I said, like growing up, like when the show ended, I was 16? Yeah. And so then, of course, all the jokes, all the stuff, all the connections about being the ages they were in there, because I think Monica at the start of the show was 26, I think at the start, or at least in season 1. At some point I know she at least said she was 26 at one point in season 1. And you know, we see them grow into their early 30s through the show, and that's obviously where I'm at now. So it's just been, like I said, now this is one of those shows like That 70s Show, The X-Files, Breaking Bad, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and Friends are like these shows that I just revisit frequently. And each time I go through this, as I'm getting older, there's newer and newer and newer and newer things that I didn't appreciate before that I'm picking up on. There's things that now I'm relating to, and it's just, that show just keeps on going. And you know, rewatching now, it's like, oh man, it's just like hitting me in a lot of different ways that it never did before. And I love it, man. I love it to death. These you know, the way the creators describe it, it's like, you know, it's about that period in your life where your friends are your family, and you know, eventually people get married, they have kids, they get relationships, they move on, they build their own lives, and you start to break. And I'm past that part at this point. So it's just like, man, going back and watching it, like it's just a reminder of those times too. And it just gets hard sometimes. But I still love it. I still crack up at all the same jokes. I still remember all the biggest lines and moments. It's stuck with me, and like, you know, you had a lot of great cameos throughout the show. You know, of course, Bruce Willis, you know, losing a bet with Matthew Perry because of the whole 9 yards, and then him, because he lost the bet, had to guest appear on the show, and that turned into its own little arc. And there's just a lot of fun things about the show. You know, the first time I saw, I don't remember the actress's name, but she plays Susan, Carol's wife. And she's in Breaking Bad. And it's like one of the first times I saw her in this. And, you know, again, one of the first prime time television shows to have, maybe not as like the main cast, but your next secondary plot point for most of this show has been this relationship between Carol and Susan, Ross's ex, and her realizing she's a lesbian, and then them having this whole arc with that relationship. during the early 90s, there's a lot of stigmas about a lot of things. And the show, while still playing with it and having fun and sometimes poking fun, obviously, when it came down to it, there was a huge progressive element to it. By showing that was in the first episode is them dealing with this. And that was one of the first major arcs is the birth of Ben, while dealing with this whole relationship with Ross and them. And they have their own little arc, anytime there's any hesitancy with our main cast, it's always a lesson learned to accept. You've got Chandler, who has a father and who's runs a burlesque show in Vegas, and how that one growing up in the time capsule that it did affected the way that everybody perceived Chandler growing up, which imprinted on him. So there was a lot of tension, a lot of animosity growing up about that. And the show evolves that relationship to the end point where Chandler accepts that and realizes where he was at fault that entire time, and that should have never hindered their relationship. And they patched that up. Chandler reached out and invited them back to his wedding, involved them in their lives and everything like that. And then you have this whole thing with Ross where, he was we had this, they played it for comedy here and there, his distress of having married a lesbian and all this stuff. And then, that maturity that builds with understanding, and to the point where they tackle these things that a lot of people who do this deal with, like coming out. Sometimes your family, in the way America is, in a lot of ways, you never know if your family is going to accept you. And in this case, Carol comes out, tells her parents that she's getting married to a woman, and they refuse to show up to her wedding. And you see how Ross, over the period of the show, builds this bond with Susan, and this relationship with Carol stays extremely close. And through it all, Ross is the one that ends up walking her down the aisle to her wife to give her away to Susan. And it's beautiful. There's a lot of things like that. And then you have, of course, the negative effects of toxic masculinity and all that stuff they played into, obviously with the Freddie Prinze Jr. episode where he's a male nanny who they are considering to babysit their kids, and Ross is weird about it. And then they tackle why he's weird about it. And at the end of the episode, there is a character growth. You can go back and share this, analyze this whole show, obviously with the 2021 lens, and think some things are not going to work, but there are progressive elements in the show that were not being done on television anywhere else. And the show did what it could to break down those barriers. And I love it. So for people that harp on it for that stuff, you watch the show. Sorry. I love this show, man. I adore it. And some things, of course, obviously don't age all that well, but again, it's the time. It's a time period. It's a time capsule. So it's just how things were. And it was breaking down walls, breaking down barriers. It was also, one of the first shows, actually one of the few shows that I know of that pulled this off, is where all the cast actually got the same pay. It started off with Ross and Rachel, David Schwimmer and Jennifer Aniston, who were billed as the lead characters, were getting paid more than the others, but they were sharing equal time, and they took a pay cut to make sure they were all getting paid equally. And from that point onward, they negotiated all their paychecks, all their salaries together to make sure they were all getting paid the same. And they did the same thing for this. And it just shows that they were, it just, at least publicly, I can't speak for how any of them really are behind the scenes or in their personal lives, but for in the public eye, in the industry, they pushed a lot of barriers over and punched through them. And it was a phenomenon. It was something that echoed worldwide. And it was, it was just a fantastic show. I love it to death, and it's gonna forever hold a dear place in my heart, guys. So, guys, that's been the journey. That's been the reunion. I'm going to. Oh, it's getting late. I got Clone Wars, or not Clone Wars, damn it. The Bad Batch here in a few hours, so I'm going to try to tune out, get some rest. But guys, sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts on this special. And yeah, that's it for today, guys. Huge shout out to our legends of the channel, Mandy Sherritt, Antoine Rodriguez, Ryan Karen, and Jason Coleman. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thanks to everybody who's been supporting the channel, whether it be liking the videos, just watching the videos, or joining off in the comments. Joining the Discord, links to that and all of my socials are in the description of this video. And for now, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care, everybody.